From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, September 15th, 2014. Silver is trading at $18.63 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,235 per ounce. And according to BitcoinAverage.com, the average price of Bitcoin is $476. Antiwar.com reports heavy fighting in the rebel capital of Donetsk put the ongoing eastern Ukraine ceasefire in serious jeopardy, with both sides claiming the other fired first. The move comes just a day after Ukrainian Premier Arseniy Yatsenyuk talked up the state of war between his nation and Russia. The ceasefire has more or less held since it was brokered by Russia, though it came to the chagrin of NATO and led to new rounds of sanctions against Russia for interfering in the country. Ukrainian Defense Minister Valery Helety reported NATO is so eager to see the ceasefire collapse that they've started direct shipments of weapons under a sideline deal he claims was made at the Cardiff summit 2 weeks ago. Helety insisted, "I have no right to disclose any specific country we reached that agreement with." Some NATO nations have denied any plans to provide lethal aid to Ukraine's military, though the alliance did publicly agree to some funding for them. FPP Radio News is brought to you by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage. For over 35 years, Roberts & Roberts has been a trusted source for buying and selling your investment-grade precious metals. They now take Bitcoin for purchasing precious metals so you can turn your profits into a long-term investment. Call Roberts & Roberts today for knowledgeable advice on investing. 800-874-9760. The AP reports North Korea's Supreme Court on Sunday sentenced a 24-year-old American man to 6 years of hard labor for entering the country illegally to commit espionage. At a trial that lasted about 90 minutes, the court said Matthew Miller tore up his tourist visa at Pyongyang's airport upon arrival on April 10th and admitting to having the wild ambition of experiencing prison life so that he could secretly investigate North Korea's human rights situation. Miller, who looked thin and pale at trial and was dressed completely in black, is one of 3 Americans now being held in North Korea. Showing no emotion throughout the proceedings, Miller waived his rights to a lawyer and was handcuffed before being led from the courtroom after his sentencing. The court, comprising a chief judge flanked by 2 people's assessors, ruled it would not hear any appeals to its decision. Earlier, it had been believed that Miller had sought asylum when he entered North Korea. During the trial, however, the prosecution argued that was a ruse and that Miller also falsely claimed to have secret information about the U.S. military in South Korea on his iPad and iPod. Miller was charged under Article 64 of the North Korean Criminal Code, which is for espionage and can carry a sentence of 5 to 10 years, though harsher punishments can be given for more serious cases. During a brief interview with the Associated Press in Pyongyang last week, Miller said he had written a letter to President Barack Obama, but had not received a reply. FPP Radio News is brought to you by Coinbase. Coinbase is a simple and secure online Bitcoin wallet for sending, receiving, and storing Bitcoin. I trust Coinbase. You should too. Get started at coinbase.fppradio.com. That's coinbase.fppradio.com. Antiwar.com reports less than 24 hours after Prime Minister Haider Abadi ordered the military to halt airstrikes against civilian areas, the Iraqi military fired multiple missiles at a hospital in Fallujah, badly injuring a staff member and causing damage to the building. Fallujah was the first major city ISIS took all the way back in January, and the city's hospital has repeatedly been targeted by the Iraqi military, causing civilian casualties. Abadi's ban on such targeting was meant to meet a demand of Sunni tribal leaders in the region who have offered to back Iraq in retaking the areas from ISIS, and the latest attacks probably throw serious doubt into that. It also adds to unwelcome attention for Iraq's major human rights violations in the ISIS war. Human Rights Watch is calling for an investigation into a recent Iraqi airstrike against a school in Al-Alam, north of Tikrit. The strike killed 31 civilians, including 24 children, and the school has been used to shelter civilian refugees as the fighting in the area escalates. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.